Chapter 9. It was Henry. "Hello, George," said Henry. "Can I speak to Miss Key, please?" Henry wore his usual polite smile, but his voice wasn't jolly. What is it?" said Aunt Daisy, stepping out of her room. "So sorry to barge in like this, ma'am," Henry said, "but there's been an incident." Aunt Daisy glared at George. "I'm so sorry, Henry," she said in an exasperated voice. "My nephew here just can't seem to stay out of trouble." "Oh, no, ma'am," Henry exclaimed. "This has nothing to do with George. It's the ship, ma'am. Seems we bumped an iceberg. I'm sure that the captain is just being cautious, but he wants everyone up on deck." "It's after midnight," Aunt Daisy said with a laugh. "Surely the captain doesn't expect us to appear on deck in our night clothes." "Oh, no, madam. It's very cold outside." Henry walked over to the dresser and brought out 3 life jackets. "And you'll need to put these on over your coats." Aunt Daisy stared at the life jackets as if Henry was holding up clown costumes. "Henry, I'm not taking the children out into the cold for some kind of a drill. Has Captain Smith lost his senses?" Of course not, Mrs. Key," Henry said. "Now, if you could get yourself and the children ready, I'll be back in just a moment to see that if you need any help." He left them alone. "All right, George," Aunt Daisy said. "I guess I'll have another adventure to boast about when we get back. You get dressed. I'll get Phoebe up." Aunt Daisy went to Phoebe's bed, and pulling aside the curtains, George heard a gasp, and he rushed over. Phoebe wasn't there. Where could she be? Aunt Daisy exclaimed. A cold feeling crept on George's spine. Phoebe, his guardian angel, she must have woken up while George was gone, and now she was somewhere on the ship, searching for George. He took a deep breath. "I went out exploring," George said. "After you went to bed, I didn't think Phoebe would wake up. She never does." "So she's out there looking for you?" Aunt Daisy said. George nodded. "She doesn't want me getting into trouble." He kept his eyes glued to the floor. Aunt Daisy should be furious with him, and Papa was right. George had no sense, not one lick of sense. How would they ever find Phoebe? But then George had an idea. That lemon drop in the hallway. Could it be? He ran out into the corridor, which was still empty. It seemed that Henry wasn't having much luck getting people out of bed and up onto the deck. George ran a little ways down the hall. There! He hurried down a little bit further. Yes, another lemon drop. Phoebe is a smart sister. Aunt Daisy came up behind him. "She's left a trail of lemon drops," George said. Aunt Daisy looked confused. "Like Hansel and Gretel," George explained. "She left a trail so she could find her way back."